hesitation, Ethan Holloway never believed in ghosts. He prided himself on his rational mind, his skepticism. So when his estranged childhood friend, Mark, invited him to visit an old mansion he had inherited, Ethan accepted without hesitation. A free weekend getaway? Why not? The house, known as Blackwood Manor, stood deep in the countryside, hidden away by gnarled trees that clawed at the sky. When Ethan arrived, he felt an unsettling stillness. The air was thick, almost heavy, as if the house were holding its breath. Mark greeted him with a nervous smile. He had lost weight, his eyes sunken, his hands twitching. "I'm glad you came," Mark said, ushering him inside. I needed someone here with me." Ethan raised an eyebrow. "Needed?" Mark didn't answer. He led Ethan down a dimly lit hallway. The walls were lined with antique paintings, their subjects staring with hollow eyes. The wooden floor creaked under their steps like whispered warnings. That night over dinner, Mark confessed. "The house, it's haunted, Ethan. I hear whispers, see things moving in the dark." Ethan scoffed. "You're just psyching yourself out. Big old houses make noise." Mark's hand trembled as he poured himself another drink. "Then explain this." He pulled out a notebook filled with frenzied scribbles. Ethan flipped through the pages. "Don't look at the mirrors. It knows you're here. The whispers get louder at 3 a.m. It wears my face." Ethan chuckled nervously. "You've been alone here too long, man." But deep down, something unsettled him. The words didn't feel like ramblings. They felt like warnings. Part 2. The house. Listens. That night, Ethan lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. The manor groaned around him, the wind outside howling through the trees. Then he heard it, a faint whisper. At first he thought it was the wind, but it grew clearer, words, murmuring his name. His heart pounded. He sat up, scanning the dark corners of the room. "Mark," he called out. No answer. Then something moved, a shape in the mirror. Ethan's breath hitched. He turned his head, but the reflection didn't match his movements. His reflection stood still, watching him. Then slowly, it smiled. Ethan bolted out of bed, running down the hallway. He found Mark sitting in the study, eyes wide with terror. "You heard it, didn't you?" Mark whispered. Ethan nodded. He didn't want to admit it, but something was very wrong.